Very good morning, viewers. My dear students, I hope you all are fine. Is it? Okay. So, I have just made one attempt to reach you by all these classes through online teaching because during the COVID pandemic, we all are acquainted with this online teaching, and also in your curriculum there are different suggested steps for you, like you have to learn from online modes, then from your books, then from classroom teaching, then self study. So there are different modes. Okay, so online teaching will also will give you lots of knowledge because in nowadays we are so busy. Okay, so we want to learn from anywhere. Okay, I have already covered 7 to 8 classes for English medium students, and also one class for ODI medium student. Okay, so we have discussed lots of things from your unit 1. We have already discussed about your question pattern, so all are there in previous videos. You can go through that. Okay, so today we will discuss about another part of the environment pollution, that is your industrial and light pollution. Okay, my dear students, so you all know that what do we mean by industries. So now we are in 21st century, and in industrial revolution stage. Okay, so our economic growth, which is based on the establishment of industries, or when industries will grow, then automatically economic condition will also grow. Okay, but why this industrial pollution is here in the syllabus? Because for achieving one sustainable development. Okay, so along with industrial development, the environmental consequences should not be ignored. Okay, so when industrial progress along with environmental development will occur side by side, then only we can achieve one healthy ecosystem. Okay, so what here we understand by the industrial pollution? So industrial pollution is a pollution which can be directly or indirectly linked with industry. So as this name suggests, industrial pollution means the pollutants those are generated from industries are known as industrial pollution. Is it? So in contrast to other pollution sources. So we have already learned in our previous classes that there are different sources of pollution. Okay, but here particularly industrial pollution means it refers the pollutants those are generated from industries. Okay, so with the process of industrialization comes our social change, then economic development, technological innovations. Okay, so but knowledge or knowingly or unknowingly, we are introducing another uh, entity in the civilization, that is industrial pollution. Okay, so economically we progress, but we are just close our eyes towards the environmental component. Okay, we should be giving more importance nowadays. So industrial pollution is the introduction of contaminants. I have already told in my previous classes that into a natural environment that causes stability or instability, disorder, harm or discomfort to the ecosystem. Okay, so this is one of the leading causes of pollution worldwide. Hmm? So industrial pollution means in the 21st century, industrial revolution is going on. Humans were able to advance further. Okay, and with all of this came one more effect, that is industrial pollution. Earlier industries were small factories that produced smoke as the main pollutant, but since the number of factories were limited and worked only a certain number of hours per day, the levels of pollution did not grow significantly. Okay, but when it is a matter of concern, because the number of industries is increased manifold. Okay, that is big scale, or you can say the industries is increased many folds, large size industries. That's why many types of pollutants in a huge quantity is released to the atmosphere. So now see here the classification. What is the classification of your this waste generated from industries? So there are toxic waste, hazardous waste. Okay, toxic means those are harmful for our or poisonous for our health. Then hazardous means which create damage to our body. Then different types of chemical waste, then industrial solid waste, then sewage treatment plants can treat some industrial waste, those consisting of conventional pollutants such as biochemical oxygen demand. Okay, and then what is BOD? That is one scientific term. Okay, you need not be bothered more as you are not honor students in particular subject, so you are just learning the fundamental things. Okay, so BOD is related to your water pollution. So BOD means the full form is biological oxygen demand, and what is its definition, you need not bothered about that. Okay, so industrial wastes containing toxic pollutants or high concentrations of other pollutants such as ammonia, it requires specialized treatment system also. Okay, so these are different types of pollutants released from the atmosphere. Okay, then come to the next, your what are the causes of industrial pollution? So first cause is lack of policies to control pollution. Second is your unplanned industrial growth. Then third is your use of outdated technologies. Okay, my dear students, you can also do one thing. When suppose you are listening this lecture, you can keep pen and paper with you. So also you can make your own notes from this lecture, because in front of your screen slide is there, so you are seeing everything written on your screen. Okay, and I am explaining those things, so you can go through this by listening, and by seeing the slide on your screen you can make your own note. Okay, so that it will help you at the time of examination point of view, and also your fundamental knowledge will be cleared. Okay, so lack of policies to control pollution, unplanned industrial growth, use of outdated technologies. Okay, then presence of a large number of small scale industries, then inefficient waste disposal, then leaching of resources from our natural world. Okay, so these are some important causes. So look here, lack of efficiency policies and poor enforcement drive. Suppose we have some rules, regulations, policies, but we are very poor to enforce these policies and laws. Okay, uh, they allow many industries to bypass laws made by the Pollution Control Board, which resulted in mass scale pollution that affected the lives of many people. Okay, so this is one major problem. Then unplanned industrial growth means in most industrial township, unplanned growth took place, wherein those companies uh, your they violated the norms and polluted the environment with both air and water pollution, and so also soil pollution. Okay, then use of outdated technologies means most industries, they still rely on old technologies to produce products that generate a large amount of waste. To avoid high cost and expenditure, many companies still make use of traditional technologies to produce high-end products. Okay, my dear students, are you getting me or not? Okay. So look, here presence of a large number of small scale industries, that is also another problem. So many small scale industries and factories that don't have enough capitals or money and rely on government grant, when government will provide them a grant to run their day to day business. Okay, and they often escape environment regulations and release a large number of toxic gases in the atmosphere. This is one another problem. Then inefficient waste disposal. So when there is one industry means some waste will be generated. If we can dispose this produced waste in a safe manner, then there will be no problem. But what we do? Water pollution and soil pollution are often caused directly due to inefficient in the disposal of waste. So long-term exposure to polluted air and water causes chronic health problems, making the issue of industrial pollution into a severe one. Okay, so why we are worried about industrial pollution? Because as it affects our health, because when industry released different types of pollutants to the environment, then it affects the water, it affects the air, then we are drinking that polluted water, we are inhaling that polluted air, which affect our health. Okay, then leaching of resources from our natural world. Industries do require a large amount of raw material to make them into finished products. This requires the extraction of minerals from beneath the earth, okay, or under the earth. The extracted minerals can cause soil pollution when spilled on the earth. Okay, so this is the these are the causes of industrial pollution due to our mismanagement. Then let's see what are the environmental impacts. So it puts different impact on our environment. So factories and power plants are typically located near water bodies, as you know. Okay, so due to the need for large amount of water as an input to the manufacturing process, all the industries are established near the river bank. Then many areas that are becoming industrialized do not yet have the resources or technology to dispose of the waste, means to um, throw their waste with lesser effects on the environment. Both untreated and partially treated wastewater are commonly fed back into a near lying body of water. Okay, what we do, we generally uh, allow the untreated water with several types of chemicals to allow to mix the with the your nearby water stream. That may be a small canal, that may be a river, whatever it may be, but generally we allow the wastewater generated from the industries to mix with the water bodies. Hence the plants and animals present in those water body, they are affected, because when some outsourced water will come and enter in the water bodies, then it will or the physical and chemical properties of that will be changed. Okay, so wastewater containing nitrates and phosphates, they often cause eutrophication. Eutrophication means where nutrient of a water body will increase and your algal blooms will be produced on the upper part of the water surface. Then it can kill off existing life in the water. So it also, or industries, they also create air pollution. Okay, because you know different types of your pollutants, it is released through the industrial chimneys and mix in the atmosphere. Okay, so air pollutants have a devastating effect on the human population, because it causes sickness. Ammonia causes a lot of respiratory problems that can be contacted from the air. Then illness that can occur from air pollution range from irritation to eyes, skin, nose, throat. Okay. Then you know there is one organization known as WHO, means World Health Organization. It has stated that air pollution is the worst risk in terms of human health. Air pollution has been around for a long time. Indoor and air pollution is also risk for humans. Okay, so then water pollution. Industries creates water pollution, as I discussed in my earlier slide, how we allow the untreated water to mix in water bodies, and how eutrophication causes and it affects the aquatic life. Okay, then the effect of industrial pollution are far reaching and liable to affect the ecosystem for many years. Okay, then most industries require large amount of water for their work. When involved in a series of processes, the water comes into contact with heavy metals. Heavy metal is another important your pollutant that affects the health of our organisms, animals, human being. Okay, so these are some impacts of your industrial pollution on health. Then also soil pollution, it creates also soil pollution. Then wildlife extinction. Okay, so your by and large, the issue of industrial pollution shows us that it causes natural impacts and patterns to fail, meaning that the wildlife is getting affected in a severe manner. Okay, so habitat are being lost. Habitat day by day, we are putting a great negative impact on the habitat where the animal live. So then another important effect is global warming. Global warming means the temperature, earth temperature is increasing day by day. Melting of glaciers, then extinction of polar bears, flood, tsunamis, hurricanes are few of effects of global warming, you know. The issue of industrial pollution concerns every nation on the planet. So it is not a local issue. So it is a global issue. As a result, many steps have been taken to seek permanent solutions to the problem. What we should do? We should adopt better technology. Okay, in the operational process of our technology or industries. Then organic methods are being used to clean the water and soil, such as using microbes. By using the microbes, the wastewater and waste soil, it can be treated. Okay, so these are some about your industrial pollution, and then the causes, sources, and its impact on the ecosystem. So now we will discuss about light pollution. So my dear students, you are being astonished by listening this, that light pollution, what is that? Hmm? So light, how it will pollute the environment, isn't it? I know that this question is now arising in your mind. So let us see how light is polluting the environment, and we are affected by this light pollution. So see, in this light pollution, we will discuss what is light pollution, its types, causes of light pollution, effects of light pollution, and how we can reduce this light pollution. Okay, so now let us discuss types of light pollution. Okay, just a minute. Yes. Okay, so what is light pollution? Light pollution means, suppose for example, when we are using a high emulous or high intensity light. So at that time it creates some effect on the ecosystem. We sometimes we face problem to see the nearby objects also. Okay, so when we use excess light, that also pollute our ecosystem or environment. So at that time we can say light creates pollution. Okay, so there are different types of light pollution. What are these? So it is one new concept, light pollution. So you have to understand a little bit. You may have heard about industrial pollution, water pollution, soil pollution, but light pollution, it may be a new one for you. Okay, so Types of light pollution. What are the types? So one is over illumination. Second is light trespass. Third is light clutter. Then glare. Then sky glow. Okay. Then what are these types? So over illumination means it refers to an excessive use of light. This excessive use of light leads to an excessive consumption of electricity, which in turn causes pollution and other adverse effects on the environment. Okay, this is known as over illumination. Means when we are using a light of very high illumination. Okay, that is known as over illumination. Then light trespass means light trespass happens when light is affecting you from an outside source, like your neighbor turning on a bright light which shines through your windows. Okay, do you understand or not? For example, suppose you are living one colony and your side by neighbor is using a street light or a big having a big size light, okay, with high intensity, which is directly focused to your home through your window. So think how problem you will suffer in night to sleep or to enjoy the nature through your window, isn't it? So this is known as light trespass. Then light clutter. What is that? So light clutters can be defined as an excessive grouping of lights. This can be particularly dangerous in when you drive a car and get distracted from these light clutters, which may result in severe accidents. Okay, so suppose you are driving a car and there are excessive grouping of lights is falling directly to your eye. So your driving will be affected and there is every chance of happening of accident. Okay. Then another is glare. Glare commonly refers to an effect from lights from which you can get blinded or have vision deficiencies. Okay, so suppose some extraordinary light will focus on directly to your eyes from the front side, then what will happen? You will lose your vision for some time, or your vision will reduce for some time, isn't it? So that will create several problems also. Then sky glow, what is that? So sky glow can be the result from either artificial lights or also natural light. Okay, like starling, it describes the effect that the outside environment is bright even at night. Okay, so these are the types of light pollution. Then look here, what is causes? So causes is excessive use of light, then overpopulation, infrastructure planning, garage lamps, light from houses, then downtown areas, smog and clouds, cars and other motor vehicles. Okay, then nighttime lighting, then street lamps. Okay, means the street lights. Okay, so these are the causes, or we can say also sources of light pollution. So excessive use of light means one cause of light pollution is the excessive use of electric light. Since electricity has become quite cheap over time, people do not care too much, isn't it, about their electricity consumption. So this results in an overconsumption of electricity and also in an excessive use of light. Especially at night time, the use of electricity can cause severe light pollution, which may affect neighbors in an adverse way. Okay, then overpopulation. Overpopulation is another source of light pollution. This is quite intrusive since overpopulation usually leads to a higher population density. Okay, a higher population density implies an increasing use of electronic devices and also of lights. Okay, then these are infrastructure planning, garage lamps, light from houses आ जाई, told that they are the sources of your light pollution. Like decent infrastructure planning is crucial in order to be able to confine the adverse effects of light pollution. For example, if street lights are placed too near to houses, the people living in these houses may be adversely affected by light pollution, isn't it, my dear students? Are you listening or getting bored? Hmm? I am not taking live class so that it will be more impressive. Okay, it is just you are listening radio and seeing your screen. Okay, so uh, okay, so garage lamps, huh? Garage lamps means garage lamps can be an additional source of light pollution. For instance, when a neighbor turns on the garage lamp at night time, this light may also reach nearby houses and thus cause light pollution for the affected people, isn't it? Then also light from houses. There can also be light pollution simply because the neighbor just leaves on the lights even late at night. So this light may reach nearby houses and affect the people living nearby, thus resulting in light pollution. Okay. So if you are not seeing it properly, let me zoom this. Okay, so yes, okay, so infrastructure planning, garage lamps, light from houses. Okay, now you can see it clearly. Okay, so now come to the next part, that is your downtown areas, smog and clouds, cars and other motor vehicles. It also creates more light pollution, means these are treated as the sources of light pollution. Okay, so nighttime lighting, street lamps, these all are sources of your light pollution. Then what effects it put? So excessive use of light, or we can say light pollution, it affects our health, means it puts health effects. Then effects on traffic, sleeping problems, pollution of the air and atmosphere, then global warming, effects on astronomy, then waste of resources, then effect on ecosystems, effect on animals and plants. Okay, so these are some effects. So what type of health effects it puts? Light pollution can cause major adverse health effect. Since people's sleep may be affected through light pollution, a bad sleep can lead to all kinds of health condition, you know. Okay, so effects on traffic. So light pollution may also have an adverse effect on traffic. Since too much lighting or the wrong angle may cause temporary blindness. This can be a serious issue when it comes to driving a car. Okay, so sleeping problems may be another effect from light pollution. Many people are not used to distraction from light when they are sleeping. People usually prefer to sleep in a dark environment, so it creates sleeping problem also. Then pollution of air and atmosphere, it is a common problem occurring due to light pollution. So light pollution also leads to a pollution to the atmosphere. Since for the illumination at night, huge amounts of electricity is used, this leads to a high level of carbon dioxide emission and other harmful gases. Then it creates global warming. Okay, so global warming, see here, global warming through light pollution and the resulting pollution of air with carbon dioxide, the global warming process is enhanced. Since carbon dioxide is considered as greenhouse gas, then emitting high levels of carbon dioxide into the atmosphere supports the climate change progress. Okay, so light pollution also puts its effect on astronomy. Light pollution affect astronomy in an adverse way. Since it is usually beneficial for astronomists to have a dark environment in order to spot stars and galaxies, too much surrounding light may harm the observation process. This problem is especially severe in big cities, which are usually quite bright even at night time. Okay, so this is your, it reports effect on water resource also. So water resource, through an excessive use of light, many fossil resources are consumed every day. For example, in order to produce electricity, huge amounts of coal are used in industrial processes. This means by using electricity, we are also indirectly using of fossil resources like coal. Then effect on ecosystem. So whole ecosystem can be adversely affected by light pollution, as we discussed. Okay. So since these ecosystems are usually quite sensitive to changes in their environment, they may not be able to adapt to new conditions properly. Since light pollution is an artificial effect caused by humans which does not occur in nature at scale, the chances are that ecosystem may be confused and affected in an adverse manner, isn't it? So are you getting my point? Huh? Is it clear or not? Hmm? Okay. So these are your effects on animals and plants. So what is the solution? Solution is, we should adopt these techniques like your light shields. Okay, techniques, look here, what are the techniques? So I am zooming it little bit, just wait. Okay, yes, okay, so light shields, warm lighting, cut off light, then certifications, motion sensors, turn off the lights, make your contribution, then convince others. Okay, these are the solution steps how we can reduce the light pollution. So what are these steps, we should understand little bit. Okay, so we will finish the lecture within another 5 minutes, don't worry my dear students. Okay, we are in the end part. So the solution steps, we should understand at least what are these light shield, what is warm lighting. So light shields means, light shields are a measure against light pollution in the sense that they can prevent light to spread to nearby areas and concentrate the light on certain spots. Okay, so this helps to migrate the problem of light pollution for nearby houses and their inhabitants. So light shield can prevent light pollution and the implied negative consequences. This is light shield. Warm lighting. Using warm lights instead of cold lights can also mitigate the problem of light pollution. While cold short wavelength light impairs night vision and contributes to light pollution, warm light is known to prevent this adverse effect to a certain degree. Okay, so cold short wave light, the lights those are cold are short wave. So short wavelength light, they create harm. Then cut off lights. Another solution to the light pollution problem is to cut off light. Through light cut-offs, the angle in which the light is spread can be determined. Okay, so देखिथिबो, for example, when you are using some your lights, it focuses some certain areas in a angle. Okay, so that is the cut-off light. So thus nearby houses can be released from light pollution since the light is concentrated on certain spots where it is needed and therefore does not affect the surrounding environment. Okay, then certification. So you can also use certified lighting, which means to reduce sky glow, glare and light split to a significant degree. Certain certification like the IDA guarantee that the impact of your lights on the environment and therefore light pollution is reduced to a minimum. Okay, then motion sensors, then turn off the lights. So motion sensors are a great way to reduce light pollution. Since the light only is turned on when the motion sensor is increased, it can absorb a lot of energy. Okay, then turn off the lights is the most simplest way how we can uh, eradicate this light pollution. Okay, so this has several beneficial effects on your neighbors as well as on our whole environmental system. The light pollution imposed on your neighbors will be reduced significantly if you turn off your lights. This is a simple step, that turn off the lights. Okay, so now this is the last slide, conclusion. Okay, so light pollution is a significant problem in our nowadays society. Although it may not seem like a big issue compared to other problems, okay, like global warming, it still causes severe problems on humanity as well as on our whole environmental system. Okay, so these include adverse impact on our sleep and other adverse effect as we discussed in our previous slide. So there are plenty of measures which we can apply in our daily lives to reduce the adverse effects caused by light pollution. Most of these measures are quite easy to apply and also do not cost lots of money. Okay, so this means it all depends on our will to change our behavior in order to prevent light pollution and the implied adverse effects. Okay, so if everyone contributes just a little bit, we could greatly reduce light pollution and therefore increase our living quality. Okay, so with this, although it is a big lecture because we cover two pollution at a time. One is industrial pollution, which is most important, and also the second one, light pollution, it is another important part of your chapter. Okay, so both of these are important for your final examination point of view. So my dear students, please go through this and make your own note if possible and prepare for your coming examination. So thank you, my dear listeners. Thank you all. Hope your bright future. Okay. So we will meet in our next lecture with the another part of pollution, that is our sound pollution, or that we say as noise pollution. Okay. So thank you all. Bye bye.